Hello there, Outliers. Niiamah Ashong here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey here today. We have an incredible roundtable set up here and two awesome trailblazers who've volunteered to share their experiences and their edges with us here today to see how we can continue navigating how they're doing it on their behalf. All right. So, with that, let's get a chance to get to know the Outliers that are here today. Melissa, why don't you get us started? Let us know more about you and the game you're playing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here, and I am a holistic psychologist outside of Chicago. And the game I've been playing lately has been really exploring what it is that I am looking for in my life, like what actually lights me up. And that's one of the things that I have been working with clients on for a while. And I'm starting to look at how I can actually use that to change the world. So, I am a psychologist. I work with clients individually, and I also do workshops and energy work and help people really like create the life that they absolutely love. So, one of my targets is for people to know that it is possible to have a joyful life. It is possible to love your life. And I think that the thing I run into a lot is people don't know that. They like think that they have to like be an adult and like joy is for like when they were younger. And really teaching people like, hey, like you can actually create your life, you can manifest everything you desire, and you can love your life again. So that's my mission.
Ooh, Melissa, we're gonna have some fun with this here. Um,
That was
there was
great.
something just there's like you can love your life again that I think like really just like hit where I'm like, oh, I get that. I get that. Thank you, Melissa. I'm excited to see how we play with it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Linda, how about you? Let's get to know you. Tell us more about you and the game you're currently playing.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I am a Cambodian first generation here. I'm my what the game I'm wanting to play is to become that coach and survivor who provides healing support for women who are rising back from the rock bottom. And that is connecting with other women out there who have been single parents, taking care of the children. My mom was also a single parent, and a lot of it comes with we didn't have the support that we needed as we were growing up and being raised by a mom who didn't have all the resources. So the game that I'm playing is building a community. I know there's so many out there that a lot of people don't have access to, or they're afraid to have access to, and to being able to bring that group of people together, single parents, men or women, who are in their healing journey from a lot of things that's happened in their life. A lot of it is from pain to peace, and that's the place I want to be. Is for me to love myself first and to be able to give love out back to others and to provide that peace of mind where we can all heal together. And with that in mind, my goal is to have a multicultural resource center where we can all live sustainably and a place where if when we get to be a certain age, I don't know if my kids can take care of me. So a place where we can be off grid and learn how to, I love fishing. I love not necessarily hunting, but I know the skills to survive out there, to be able to forage for foods that we could be able to live off grid and be able to teach others the same way to live and then heal holistically outdoors.
There's something really awesome. There's lots of things awesome what you just said there, Linda. I was struck with even just like the first sentence you put in. And then when you brought up the Multicultural Resource Center, I was like, oh, did not see that coming, right? And one of the things I love about this, and this is some of the cool parts about like the work, the conversations we get to have is like people find really awesome ways, really like I wanted to say unique, but what I really think is like really aligned ways to bring their contribution out into the world. And you're like, for those of us that want to be like, you know, um, what's it called? Like off grid and fishing and hunting. I'm creating a space. Like, by the way, there's a spot like that's ready for you. And I don't know, there's something about that I just think is pretty grand overall. And it's something about like this thing that we get to create together, you know? Well, I'm excited for y'all to be playing here. Today, I'm checking in because I had uncertainty on the mind coming into today's conversation. And yet, listen, you brought in joy, and then Linda, you brought in peace. And that to me felt like I'm like, I actually want to play more in that space today. All right. Um, so where would I like to go with this? What I like to do here is so I was struck with the it's possible to have a joyful life. Let's start there. Right. Um, for me, like I think I want to start off with like, what does joy mean to you? And I mean that really, really specifically. I've had an element of playing this. So, what does joy mean to you? And we can have both there. It might be Melissa, you answer that one, and then Linda, you can talk about peace. I think I want to see what it is that we're both aiming for here. So, Melissa, let me come with you. Yeah, I think that's how I'll play this one. Melissa, what does joy mean to you? And then Linda, I'm going to come to you afterwards with what does peace mean to you?
Yeah, I think that joy is sort of the sense of looking around your life and feeling really satisfied with what's around you, what you've created, and what you are creating. And that's what's true for me. And I can't say that that's true for everybody. And one of the things I really look at for people is asking them that question is, if you woke up tomorrow and you were like, wow, like this is the life I've always dreamed of. What is that? What does that look like? What does your day to day look like? Who's around you? What do you do for work? What do you do for play? Like, what are the things that when you're doing them, you're in the flow and you're maybe not even thinking, like, I'm so joyful right now, but you're just in it. You're enjoying it. You're like playing and you're not in your head. You're not overthinking. You're not thinking about what you have to do next week. Instead, you're like in the thing that you're doing in such a way that time slows or doesn't exist and you're just being. And that's for me at least what joy really shows up as is when I'm just being all of me and I'm being my authentic self and I don't have to doubt myself or judge myself or like worry about getting it right, but it's just about like really showing up and doing the things and being with the people and creating the life that is expansive for you, where you feel your heart open up and you're just like, this is just where I am right now. And a lot of times you're not even thinking of it in the moment so much as you're reflecting back on your day and being like, oh, that was so much fun, or I had such a good time with that person, or, wow, that was such a great conversation. And in the moment, maybe you're not like, no, I'm experiencing joy, but maybe. But, I think it's like people are often chasing this like happy thing. Like, I just want to be happy and not really acknowledging, like, what does that even mean for you? What does that look like for you? And a lot of times it's like, it's more of a reflection back on like, oh, like I had this awesome day with my kids, or, I had this great conversation with my husband, or whatever that is. But all of that is like the things that light you up. And that's for me. Like when I talk about joy with people, it's really about what sparks light in you, what makes you come alive, and find that and create your life with that as your target. Does that make sense?
You
Oh
know, when
yeah, good stuff. I'm like
yeah,
really excited to build on top of that.
That's amazing.
go for it, Linda, please.
Yeah, when you're talking about, what makes you feel alive, right? And what brings you joy for me is the love of my cultural music because and any kind of music, dancing and being able to travel, so that keeps my spirit alive. And I find that that's where I find joy. If I'm doing the thing that makes me happy and I'm passionate about, I can be able to find peace. And once I'm at peace, I can be happy. What does that look like is how am I personally, Linda, able to rebuild my life where after losing everything, right? So me being able to doing what makes me passionate about, being able to a place to have people gather, a place to explore, where we can all learn together. I think that's what it is because on my own personal pages, a lot of us are holding hands, and we're just a community of people, and we're either dancing or cheering each other on. And in my own lives, I found that people love music, and it's a lot of people do listen to a lot of sad music, but they can relate to it. But once I put the jam on, everybody's jumping up and dancing, and we're all live dancing uh, and making that space where we can celebrate life. And I find that when we're so busy in our work life and within career, family, if you're a mom, if you have kids, children, a place and time where you can come together and just shake it all off and be yourself. Because, like Melissa said, being our true authentic self, where we're out there, I feel like I'm acting somebody that I'm not because I have to be professional, right? But at home, I can just let loose. I can wear pajamas. And that's why I feel is I'll be at peace is because I could be who I am, where I am. when I want to be or need to be.
Yeah, this is I'm appreciating hearing like both of your like definitions of this year. This that even the last part there, Linda, like I can just be like who I am, where I am, like where what like all that fall into place. Um, it was important for me to ask this question around the joy and the peace part because they are different things. And sometimes I look around and I say, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? Am I like I have two young kids now, and I'm just like I could just use some peace, you know? And I realized I'm like, actually I want that I is it peace I want, or do I want like energy to set like all these different things that come from it. And I think about joy from a different place there. And so what was really lovely for me was that like I think I oftentimes hold them as two separate things, joy and peace. Linda, you did me a really great like favor here when you were able to connect the two of them in like a very like seamless way. I was like, oh wait, hold on. What if they ended up being what if I can find the joy and peace, and then the peace and joy, is what was sort of flowing for me. I can go off and come up with another question, but first I'm just curious, like what's popping off for each of you, either in your head or in your heart, based on anything so far.
Linda, I really love what you said about music and the way that that creates something in connection, and the way that it brings people together, and the way that like that actually does create a sense of peace and joy, like you kind of said, like to kind of pull that whole thing together of, for a long time I wasn't listening to a lot of music. I used to so identify with music, and then I got to a space in my life where I was listening to podcasts all the time, and I was listening to like workshops, and kind of where music like stopped being a priority in my life. And only recently have I just kind of reinvigorated that love of like dancing and music. And I've been doing some ecstatic dance, and finding that like space to connect through rhythm is so healing. So I really love that that's part of what brings you peace, and it sounds like part of your mission.
Yeah, I think so. I love how you said that too, Melissa. I think that I did because being a entrepreneur means you're alone. I feel like I'm always alone. I'm doing the thing and nobody understands it. My significant other, my mom, my kids cheered for me. But when you're feeling alone, I also have that music that is playing because that's what makes my soul happy. Whether it's connecting me with my head and with my soul or not, it just tunes out all the outside noise that
Hmm.
you hear. And I'm about podcasts, I'm about courses, education. And then there was a time where I met my most recent partner, and that's where I find that those noises were different because he told me, he goes, Linda, you don't have to do all that stuff. I go, what do you mean? And I had to take a step back and look at a different way that I was leading because I've always been the eldest in the family and taking care of my siblings, my kids, single mom, and I needed music in my life to heal. And also it was like my ritual, my practice for my daily healing. But then I met this my last most recent partner, and he said, you don't have to worry about all that stuff. And then I took that and really found more peace. Like I was always worried about the dishes needed to be done, everything needed to be done, balancing the kids. You have two young kids. My kids are grown. So now, I'm like thinking, what's next, right? And I'm not sure if you have children, Melissa. It's just that balancing of everything. And if I'm washing dishes, I have music on. Is that rhythm that we have that we just get through? I dance while I do dishes, and I have music in my ear to tune out all the noise outside. Like, hey, mom, use this quiet time, and my kids love to dance. They dance with me, and I have a good relationship with them. But even though when everything's quiet, I only hear everything else, and that's where I incorporate music into my healing and journey and living it loud that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I do have kids, and it like brings people together. Even when everyone's like, we just came back from a road trip where like everybody's like singing in the car together, like, and everybody's off key and it's fine. But just as a means of connection, and it's really regulating for the nervous system to move your body and to like allow yourself to be free. And I think there's a lot to be said for free movement in whatever way you see that as, where there's a lot to be said for choreographed movement too. But I do think that there's something to be able to just be totally free and dance around your kitchen and do dishes, and create this sort of sense of community with your family, with whoever's around you, and like allow yourself to have that freedom to move your body and to not worry about like, do I look stupid, or dance around in your pajamas. And we spend so much of our lives trying to be like orchestrated and to show up a certain way that I love your what you said about that, on like just really being able to be free. And it does create a sense of peace when you don't have to uh, put on some kind of a mask or a show, and really just allow yourself to be present in your body, with the people you love, even better.
Totally agree with that. And I gotta just only because I remember the s'mores that you were talking about, campfire s'mores, and how everybody's all, you start heating it up and it gets sticky, just bring it all together and everybody sticks together.
Yeah, I love this here. That's a callback outliers to when we were coming into our spaces here together before we hit record. So I everything happens for a reason. I like that. There's something that's really playing out for me as we're talking. Linda, there's things that you're saying that uh, I, I I'm enjoying from a standpoint of like you said, you're first generation from Cambodia. You're the eldest child. I'm first generation from Ghana. I'm the eldest child. And so like there's things here where and it's interesting. You're like coming together, all these things. I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. It really feels core to the transformations that you create, even to the point of like, hey, by the way, like as we get older, let's all still come together and create a place there. And so I really see you in that, Linda. I think that I want to just make sure that I call that in, you know. Uh Melissa, you've just brought in two things that got me. The first one was just around freedom, and I want to bring freedom into our space. So now we have joy, we have peace. We're gonna bring in freedom on top of it, and we'll go and play with it. But there's something in there around regulating the nervous system through dance, through movement, through free movement that I was like, I need to go to the club. Like literally, that was what was going. Like I'm like, because I'm in a place right now where I'm like, I want to regulate. Like I actually don't think that. I'm just like, I need to work on my nervous system because I'm getting in arguments that I don't want to be getting into. I'm avoiding stepping into my next levels, like either with hiring new teammates, taking on like new projects, starting up new offerings, or just saying things that like are going for what it is that I really want. And I looked at it. I woke up this morning. I said, I think this is a nervous system thing. I think that like my capacity to, I've been trying to increase my capacity to do more, but I think this is my like, I'm being called to be more, and I haven't really lived into that. Like the guy who I am is not really stepping into that. So I'm gonna bring this back. I think I'll leave the freedom question for just a little bit. That way we can kind of have a little bit of clarity on that right now. But I'm curious for you all because this is deeply on my heart right here. Like as you step into doing things that like no one else around you has done, or maybe other people around you have done, but you yourself haven't done it. How do you keep yourself growing, not just from the doing aspect, but in the person you are being as you're growing? And interpret that however you want. Let's just use that to start the conversation. Anyone want to get us into it?
I can start. I think as I am doing that now.
Hmm.
I am doing that now. So my
Even that
my
moment right there, Linda, like that was awesome. Like that, like going from thinking to like checking in and then acknowledging whether you were like that was really awesome. So thank you for doing that. Sorry to interrupt, but I felt that.
well, thank you for pointing that out. I've always had a I always thought I had a hard time talking or sharing or things like that because there's always someone telling me that that's not how it goes or how you're supposed to think or no, don't think that way, right? And so I took a step back and I realized the people that I was talking to have this personality where they want to be up on you or telling you what you should think or how to think. And I thought, wait, no, this is going to be my space. And so finding a space that is safe so you can do more and be more is aligning yourself with people who have the same vibe, number one, and also have the same energy. When you want to go to the club, let's go to the club. We can be in this room and dance. Uh, Thirdly, is I'm finding that community, and I've told this with my followers. I said, I'm not looking for quantity. I don't need 10,000 followers who are not going to show up. I'm looking for quantity or quality that when you show up, how can I help you? What is what is it that my purpose in life is to be able to impact at least one person a day. And how can I help you? How can I support you? How can I help you in your journey? Because we all come together and we all leave people behind because we are moving in our journey. And for this example is I've only been on, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share TikTok social handles, but that's the new thing. I don't know if you both have, but I got on it for maybe the first month. I post things on there. I was like, oh, whatever. I'll do all the other social media handles. But when I did get on, the one thing that I found was people came together for music, whether it's just sitting in the same room like this and just hanging out watching a video on my big screen TV or the projector, and people watch and people dance. And that's the thing is okay, if I'm going to bring that, how am I going to, what's next with that music, right? So then as I'm going through it, I said, this is not my purpose. My purpose is to be able to help others and impact others where it's from pain to peace. And let's move that way. And so I'm separating that too. So that's about how I'm seeing and being is separating the two is I can celebrate life, but let's talk about this first, and then we can celebrate life by dancing. And with that said in mind is the thing that came up was retreats. Retreats is a place where we can all go to one place that everybody agree on, knowing that we're going to come out with XYZ and still be able to come in with like I said, just a practice daily for healing there, and then celebrate and eat good food and dance and not have to worry about who we should be in a safe place. And that's where I find freedom
Mhm.
and peace and joy.
I
Oh,
like
that
that,
just came
Linda.
out.
I like that. Yeah, there, no, there it is. Like this is one of the best things about like being in a conversation like this, and like it's like we get a place where we can get like the stream of consciousness to play out and see it all flow in. So I appreciate you on that, Melissa. What's flowing through you?
Yeah, I was listening so intently to Linda that I forgot the question.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what did you ask?
There was a question here, like, and I'm good with the conversation go wherever it goes, but the question here was around something to do with nervous system regulation, and like, and how y'all like show up when you're stepping into something that is like eh, your next possibility, the next thing that the next level that's on the horizon, maybe the next two levels that's on the horizon. But there was, to me,
Oh,
it was tied into like, hey, my nervous system right now, it seems to be the thing that's actually keeping me. It's not about what I know what to do. I'm just not doing it. And it's not, and it's nervous. It's not fear, but nervous system.
Yeah. For me, I think it's a lot of grounding. Like it's a lot of like being in nature and I really prioritize going on a walk every day, and that's no matter what's going on, but certainly when I'm sort of like you said, like leveling up, looking for the next thing, going on the next journey, I really get a lot of downloads and information when I'm walking, and it's part of it's being connected to the nature, to being outside, and to being connected to the earth, and part of it's just allowing your head to clear. I know a lot of people will like go on walks, but they're like listening to something. And I like leave, my phone off. And that's my time to just like really be and be present. And that regulates my nervous system, first of all, just by walking and being with the earth. But then on top of that, like allowing whatever flows through creatively to come through. And it's where I kind of, solve problems. If there's something up where I'm like, is this working? Is this not working? Is this the direction I want to go? And I get so much more clarity when I am in that space, connected to the earth, but also moving my body. And that's usually what helps me get a lot of clarity. The other thing that I do a lot of is EFT tapping, if you're familiar with that. Have you heard of EFT tapping before?
Share
Yes,
with
no.
us so that like all of us are on the same page.
Yeah, sure. So EFT tapping is it stands for emotional freedom technique because we're talking about freedom. And isn't that funny? Um, and it goes through the meridian points. So you actually tap on like the side of your hand, and then you tap on the top of your head, the inside of your eyebrow, the outside of your eyebrow, under your eye, under your nose, under your mouth, under your collarbone, and then like on your side. And as you do that, you talk about, you bring up different things. So if you're like, I'm really not sure where to go next, or I'm feeling nervous or worried or uncertain about certain things, I will go through and use that technique to like get clarity because it moves things through your energy centers in your body. And then when you get through that, then a lot of times you sort of have this like bird's eye view of like, okay, so like if I was going to zoom out from something that might feel really big in my world right here, right in front of my nose, when I can zoom out from it and see it from a wider space, I get a lot more clarity on like, okay, what is it that I actually want, or what is it that's actually keeping me stuck? I had a client this past week who came in and he's like, I've just been so irritable lately. I was like irritated because I was trying to eat my granola bar in the car and I was so mad because it wouldn't open. And he was like, my reaction didn't match what was happening. He's like, I was just angry over this granola bar. And we did a round of tapping and he was like, "Oh, I wasn't really angry at my granola bar. I was super frustrated with my wife this morning with, the interactions where I feel like I have to carry everything in the house." And we were able to have a really beautiful conversation around like what he thought was just he was being irritable just sort of across the board, but was able to sort of get clarity on like, oh, this is actually like this bigger thing that I've been dealing with that I didn't know was bothering me. So it was so cool to be able to get a just a wider view. And a lot of times that's where we get stuck is we're like, why am I acting like this? Or why am I in this mood? Or what am I sad about? Whatever is coming up for people. And to be able to ground yourself in some way, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's some EFT tapping, whether it's breath work, whatever it is that helps you to regulate. When you get to that space, then you can be like, oh, okay, this is like not this like little thing I thought it was. This is actually something I've kind of been pushing under the rug and not dealing with. That when you actually deal with it, then you can get to the root of it and clear through it, which brings you back to that space of peace. So I guess that's probably the thing or the things that I do the most of.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's lovely hearing this, and one of the things that's flowing through me as we're talking is I'm like, one, a breath. It's just like just taking that in. And then also here, like there's some things around what you're saying that are like more specialized. Like I'm like, okay, you describe the FT tap, but I'm like, I wouldn't just be able to do it right now, right? Like without like I would love to be like guided through an experience with that, let me put it that way. And then there's other things where you brought up where I'm like, oh wait, like that's an accessible tool. That's something I can like do right now. I can breathe. I can dance. I can connect over music. I can call someone. I can like ask myself questions. Like there's things that you're saying right now where it's like just to put it out there, it's like it ain't that complicated. Like there's like a certain level of thing that ain't that complicated. And I'm gonna invite here, this one's gonna go just to outliers here. Where in your world right now are you making something more complicated than it needs to be? Right? Than it actually is. Right. And if you just allowed yourself to get down to the simplicity of it, like for me, it's like when I shake my booty, I feel better. I just do. I just like, yeah, I just like I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I'm just not dancing. Like it's so odd. Like out of all things, I'm like, I'm just not dancing, you know? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, go change it up. I don't know what's happening down there, but like something lights up inside of me. So like, I'm grateful for this year. Where I want to take the conversation now is to lean in more into the edge side of things. Right. So right now, everything we're talking about feels good. And now I want to get to the place of like, but what's that thing that you're taking on that is just like that it isn't complete, that gives you sweaty palms, that has you actually playing on your edge? Because a lot of us outliers are out here like looking to see how do we move beyond what feels comfortable and step into what comes next. And so I'll leave it up to you all. Would you mind sharing a project you're taking on right now that's giving you sweaty palms and how you're like playing with that right now?
I can start.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a few things. So I'm in the middle of, actually, I'm almost done. It'll finish probably today or tomorrow with a proposal for a book that I've been working on for a while. So I am submitting this proposal for the publishing company Hay House has a publishing contest essentially that I went to London for in the spring, and that's due in September. So I've been spending the last 6 months writing the proposal, which as a result, I mean, I've written about 100 pages of the book so far in order to put together the proposal because they need all sorts of things, right? I won't get into the details of it, but that's been the thing that I've spent a lot of time working on. And in true form, now that that's almost complete, the next thing I'm looking at is doing keynotes and starting to do more speaking events. And I have not done that yet. This is like what I'm on the edge of. So I've done a lot of workshops and like 2 hour things where I've done speaking events locally at some different shops, different places around here. And I'm still growing that, doing different workshops and classes. But I know that the next big step for me is to work on writing a keynote and submitting it and actually getting up on stage and speaking. So, as far as the thing that gives me sweaty palms, I mean, the book is one thing, but I at least feel like, okay, I can submit that now, and then it's just a waiting game. And the next thing is like, all right, here's where I'm wanting to head to next. And yeah, it's a little terrifying, but I know that there's something there for me.
That feels exciting. That feels. Can I ask you here? And this might be too soon. Like, it might be too tied to the proposal. I don't know if we can get in, but like, what's the message that's behind the book right here? What's the thing that like? 'Cause when I hear you speak, I'm like, oh, Melissa has something she wants to get out into the world, and she's like, I'll write a book about it. I'll get on stages about it, whatever it is. But there's something that needs to come out of you, and you're allowing yourself to go do it in every way that wants to be expressed. What's that thing?
Yeah, so it's about overcoming burnout by creating your life.
Mm.
So it's a lot of what we've been talking about. And my backstory is that, I was working, I think I've talked to you about it before. I was, at a corporate company that I was really burnt out by. And the the cure wasn't just quitting my job. The cure was actually doing something that lit me up, that I was excited about every day and that I'm constantly growing in. And any client that I've had come through with something similar, where they either recognized it as burnout or didn't, thought they were depressed or really anxious, having panic attacks, things like that, that what we got to is what was really happening for them is that they were just really burnt out on the life that they had created thus far, whether it was in their job, with their family, with their, tons of obligations, and not actually doing anything that lit them up, that sparked light in them, that was fun for them. And so it's really about, how do you regulate your nervous system? How do you come back into you? How do you come back to your authentic self? Look at what the life is that you'd actually like to have, and what are the actionable steps that you can take in order to create that. And that is where you overcome burnout and you never go back to it, because it isn't just about like, okay, stop people pleasing, take some more time off, all the sort of basic things that somebody will tell you for burnout. But like, this is how you overcome it permanently, because you actually create a life that you love. So that's what the book's about.
Feel you on that. Yeah, and I see you too, right? Like it's like, yeah, like this is it. This is what you stand for. Like, and what's really fun for me is, as you were saying it, I don't know how you landed with you, Linda. I was like, oh, perfect alignment. Like, I get it. Like this, like you're living it right now. All right. I appreciate you,
Absolutely. Thank
Melissa.
you.
Thanks for that. Yeah. Linda, how about you? I'm gonna take you back to the sweaty palms question. Like, I want to see, like, what are you creating? What are you up to right now? And in what ways are you like leveling up?
Talking about sweaty palms, mine's sweaty.
This
Uh,
moment right here, yes.
yeah, and I did apologize. I did miss the part about, all the feelings and emotions that I was going through in order to be where I'm at and process that. Only because right now I'm at the project that I'm in is the retreats and being out there, and people know who I am. And I'm also known as Healing with Ruby. Ruby is my persona, the person, and my geographic is starting over at 40, building wealth from the ground up, and also uh, healing with nature. So a lot of the things is breath work and being able to relax using those methods of uh, like the music and also meditation. I learned Tai Chi as one of the things that we will move with, we'll move with in order to ground ourselves. And with that is, that's my project, is taking all that into the retreats. However, I'm not a salesperson. I can't go out there and say, hey, buy this, so I do show up more, and being able to, like, I started doing the public speaking, but in via rooms like this, like the TikTok rooms where there's a lot more people in there. We get like 8 or 9 people in the panel and we're talking. It's because I'm constantly daily practicing this. And I talk very slow because before I'd be like, oh, I couldn't get it out. So that's my sweaty palms. That's my trying to, you know, relax and be patient. But I find that when I'm speaking from myself, my own experience, I don't have to make up anything. It's me being genuine. The project is my birthday. I turned 50 in November, and I want to learn how to play the guitar so I could play the song that I wrote. The song that I wrote is for myself, the persona of Ruby, how I'm healing as a child, and also for my daughter who has gone through a lot in her life as well. It's a teardropper. People have heard the music I did for my daughter is on YouTube as well, and taking that and playing the guitar on stage. I asked my daughter to be there. She's like, I don't know if I can be there. So I'm like, I don't know. Why is my 50th birthday? But with that said, is I'm bringing singers that are my friends that have gone through a lot too, or in the healing process, generational trauma. And we're going to come together and just play music on stage and bring people together and celebrate on my 50th birthday. And with that, I also want to have a fundraising for a cause that helps all different types of traumas. So whatever trauma that they're in, I'm going to do a little bit more research and find those organizations. So if you both have the organizations you feel really passionate about, yeah, please send them my way, and then I'll look at it too. That's that is what it is. But getting there is like I need funds, you know, to do I need funds or do I need just fundraise this stuff and get people to the community together because they're coming along and people's like, hey, you know, I'll help you out. I'm like, oh, that's great. But you know, it's only 3 months? September, October, November, less
Yep.
than 3 months.
Yep.
So that's
There's,
the, yeah.
oh, there's so many things that were flowing through me as you're saying this. One, um, awesome. Congratulations here. No, like really and seriously. And there was something in there what you said about like sales and creating funds. And I was like, you clearly are someone who's able to enroll people in vision, especially a vision of like coming into something and bringing people into something. And so like what was going through me is I was like, how can we just continue doing that? Like, how can you leverage that and have
Mhm.
like add in the piece about money as one of the components of it all, but like you're there's something that with what you were saying where I'm like, oh, like you know how to enroll and lead people
Mhm.
already because like you don't get people together. Trust me, I've been trying to build a group program for a while. I was like, oh, I've lost my like in like group enrollment energy. It's I know how to do it in a one-on-one context, but how do I do it again when I'm just like bringing people into something awesome, And so there's something about what you're saying there, Linda, that really like strikes me, which is like I think it's just more about like the how do we elevate what you're already doing to include this next piece as opposed to like learning something brand new because you're completely enrolling as you are. Yeah.
Bringing them to the club.
Yeah, all right, there it is, right? And like you, like it was even that you even got me to think. I'm like, I can go back to the club, Like I was like, I
Yeah.
need to go to the club. You're like, yeah, just tell me, like we're good to go. Talking about this here, like the time is just like sped on by. That did not expect this. We're gonna bring our conversation here to we're gonna start wrapping it up, right? This would be. I feel good about doing this. I don't always do this with people, but what I like to do here is invite each of you to wrap up this portion of the conversation with what I call an outsight. So, an outsight is you talking directly to trailblazers and sharing a message that you want them to hear, right? It could be about anything we talked about. It could be about anything else that they need to know. We'll cover your contact info and everything in just a little bit. Actually, let's do that. You settle an outside that you want them to hear, and then let them know about your contact info, and I'll give you one more question afterwards. Okay. So, Melissa, we'll start with you. What's an outside that you have for Trailblazers, and then we'll come to you, and how can we go deeper down the journey with you?
Sure. I would say whatever it is that you have always wanted to do that is something you've decided is outside the realm of possibility, it's not. So, what if you gave up that point of view and were willing to start to get really present with what is it that would really create your life that you would have so much gratitude for every moment of every day and start creating that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And how can people go deeper down the journey with you?
Well, you can find me on my website. It's drmelissamahan.com. and or follow me on TikTok, which is Dr. underscore Melissa underscore Mahon, which is Mahon, or on Instagram, it's the same at Dr. underscore Melissa underscore Mahon.
Uh,
And I do daily reels on TikTok specifically. So come follow me on there. I'm working on growing my socials, so I would super appreciate that. And I'm
that's
super
awesome.
grateful to be here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad you came back here. Glad you came back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Linda, how about you? What's an outside that you have for outliers out there?
Mine would be healing from trauma emotionally. For those who have fought battles that no one saw and you had to carry the burden in silence, I am walking in my purpose so that we could break that silence through like the fire that's inside of us to rise even stronger. Because every scar tells a story, and that's why I'm here. I'm telling my story and resilience, and so I'm taking this step forward as a testament to all those who have the unbreakable spirits, that we just keep on living, keep on loving, and laughing a lot. And my thing is eat, and travel. And how people can get a hold of me is through my social media handlings on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube is Pure Mending, PUREMENDING. And yeah,
This is fantastic. Outliers, my answer that you shared this episode with the people in your world, right? There's a lot of greatness that took place in here, and like please go forth and share it. But I want to go one step further beyond that. It's actually it's counterintuitive, but I think this is my mind keeps seeing this is like this is the real here, and that's if you would right now think of one person in your world who would really benefit from hearing the conversation that was just had, right? And do me a favor and share this episode with them with intention. Like I think it's a completely different thing than just sharing it out on your socials. It's like going into someone's inbox and saying, "Hey, I heard this and I thought of you." Like what Melissa said, what Linda said, the conversation that was having there was exactly the thing that we were talking about the other day, and I think it'd be really beneficial for you. I call it the one person, one conversation at a time initiative, and a part of me is like, it's like, why do I keep doing this? Like, should I just be like, go share it out in the world? And I think that the real thing is that like if we do it this way, every this message is going to hit every single person that it's intended to actually reach, right? And each time we do it, it's going to be able to grow. And I realize I'm like, I think this is the real viral coefficient. It's like one person finds another person and we just keep the chain going, you know? And so like it might seem like a small ask, but it's actually one of the most important things I can ask you to do. Please, someone in your world, share this episode with them and let's all grow together. I mean the world to me. So we're going to wrap up here. The question that I ask everyone before we leave is this: what's one insight or takeaway that you are leaving this conversation with? We covered the outsights, so I got that out of our system. Outliers are taken care of, right? This is for you. What is something that you wanted to walk away with this conversation remembering? What does it help you remember or take you with it? Linda, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Melissa. And we'll end for today.
I would say that I'm actually sitting here and just sharing from my heart. That's the most important thing. And I'm thankful and grateful to meet Melissa. I feel like I really want another second piece to learn more about this, about her, also what she does, and more about what you do.
Yeah, well, like, hey, she has another conversation that we had with Melissa. So if you go on the podcast, you can find it there. But she also let us know, like, go into her world. Doctor underscore Melissa underscore Martin. All right, we got this. Thank you, Linda. And Melissa, for you, what's an insight you're leaving this conversation with?
Yeah, well, first of all, same, Linda. It was so lovely talking with you, and I'm super
Mhm.
grateful to have met you. And this has been so wonderful. So thank you, Niiamah, for having us on. And yeah, I love having conversations, especially with new people. So there's such a gift in just having conversations about things where, we're, and from all over the world and on all parts of the country, and to be able to come together to talk about like the gift of, how to have the feeling of freedom in your life, how to have the feelings of peace and joy, and what creates that. And I really love that we talked so much about like really dropping into the body and like what that creates, because that's such an important value of mine. And everybody finds different ways of doing that. But when you were like, yeah, let's go to the club, I was like, yeah, that, because it's so that energy of like coming together and having fun that people like forget about, or I don't know, like decide they've outgrown. So for me, it was just such a gift to like be able to have those conversations all together. So thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you all here. You've been absolutely spectacular. Thank you for bringing your presence, your experience, and honestly, just like your insight into this conversation. Outliers, until the next time we talk, remember, be you on purpose. Journey on.